If you clicked on this video and you just want to see me fail at drawing over and over until I stumble into something that looks alright, but you don't want to hear Boruto spoilers, feel free to mute and keep watching. Just make sure to keep it muted throughout. Otherwise, this is your spoiler warning for up to Boruto TBV Chapter 21. This is actually the final part of our TBV Chapter 20 discussion, but I think it still has implications for the series generally. Enjoy! This next topic that I wanted to get into sort of calls back to what we were talking about earlier with respect to like the callbacks to the original Naruto. I think Boruto as a series has sort of done that, right? Like I don't think this is just me forcing it, right? Like people have pointed out how Boruto and Kawaki's relationship is sort of like a inverse version of Naruto and Sasuke, right? Like people have pointed out how Boruto's position in TBV is very similar to like an Itachi. It's very Itachi-esque. So I think Boruto as a series sort of invites the comparisons to the point earlier about like the similarities and the themes about what it means to be human and how that sort of intersects with being a shinobi. And, you know, just in terms of narrative beats, right? Like I would say that this current arc that we're on is sort of paralleling the Kazekage rescue arc in early Shippuden. Obviously, that was the first arc. This is like the sort of second arc in TBV, but I would say it happens at a sort of similar point in the story. Similar story beats of like Gaara gets captured by the Akatsuki versus now Shinki's been taken by the Shinju and devoured, right? So obviously Shinki being like Gaara's son. So and actually Gaara also in a precarious state now, right? Like similar thing, I guess.
Yeah, Gaara's trapped.
Yeah, and originally my thought was, and this is going to be us talking a little bit about what we sort of view as like the biggest weakness of Boruto as a series, but then also going along with the previously stated themes of like what it means to be human and taking what that looked like in Naruto in terms of bringing the shinobi villages together, and whether that sort of can translate now to us sort of bringing the other shinobi villages back into the fold, obviously now with the Sand Village in this arc, right? And whether or not it can be improved upon. I guess you can see where I'm going with this. We both sort of agree that one of the bigger weaknesses in Boruto is the side characters, just generally speaking. I think part of the reason the Kazekage rescue arc, even though I don't think it's anyone's like favorite arc, every time I go back to rewatch that arc, I get teary-eyed, you know, by the end of it, you know?
I do too.
And part of the reason is because Gaara got such a compelling arc before that, right? And we don't really have that with Shinki or with Yodo. So like Yodo's obviously like maybe not gonna die here. She at least thinks she is, but like she's gotten like maybe one panel before this. Even the anime I don't think really like touches on her that much, although the anime did give Shinki a bit more love, but like in the manga, like Shinki hasn't really gotten anything, right? But I think that sort of brings up the topic now that they are being sort of introduced into the fold with this sort of idea of, once again, what does it mean to be human? Obviously in Naruto that involved bringing all the villages together. Is it really the right time now to sort of bring these characters in, and to what degree is sort of that going to be a positive thing moving forward in the series?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? Because I think the thing that makes it tough for Boruto is really kind of what I mentioned earlier, what we kind of talked about earlier. You know, literal gods being introduced, and you know, making shinobi look less relevant. Yeah. Right. I actually think that's something that makes it a bit awkward, right? Yeah. Because now we're bringing a literally whole like species of character, if we want to be, you know, semantic, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of think about, in terms of what you meant, man. I don't know. I think the Gaara arc actually. I think another theme of, you know, humanity was Jinchuruki, right?
Right.
I very vividly remember Naruto just being so attached to Gaara because, oh my god, like there's finally another Jinchuruki that knows how I feel about people being literally racist towards me. You know?
Yeah.
And
whoa, I just need to pause this real quick to say that earlier I mentioned when we were talking about the Shinju and the parallels to maybe like people with Kekkei Genkai as like dangerous, you know, things, people that are dangerous that we maybe need to like treat differently. I can't believe I missed a Jinchuriki angle that was like right there.
Honestly, I can't believe I missed it too.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that for the people, you know, who maybe caught that earlier, but yeah, no, that just hit me. keep going.
No,
Sorry.
it's definitely cool. It's definitely cool, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe the difference to the Shinju is that like we know that they're dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it kind of ties back to the divine tree thing. Like,
Yeah.
they're pretty set on still planting the tree.
Yeah.
So
in terms
so
of
I
what
guess
they're doing now, they are being antagonistic. Like, I don't want to say it's the exact same thing as the Jinchuriki. That's,
Yeah.
not what I'm saying.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that was a driving force behind the Gaara arc and why I think it did make it stronger, right?
Yeah.
And even Granny Chio ended up not just loving her grandson. When she's trying to be a tough old lady, right? Like
Yeah.
an old lady, So I like in terms of parallels, it definitely sucks because you can say this is a parallel, but this one's a little bit more boring, It's not as compelling. And if anything, I think that's the weakness of Boruto coming out right there. So hopefully, because they kind of expect us to care about these characters when they just haven't been shown at all.
Yeah,
right?
that's my thing too, with like sort of putting this like love triangle dynamic between Yodo, Araya, and Shinki. It's like,
yeah,
we don't know anything about these characters. I'm
we
sorry.
literally don't know anything about them. Like,
Oh, Yodo
okay,
likes
cool,
Shinki
cool.
and Araya likes Yodo, but like, like, but I do hope that we do. I don't know. It just sucks because like, as much as I would love for these side characters to get more development, we haven't even really gotten that much for like Sarada and Mitsuki yet.
I mean,
we're
like, getting a little bit. We're getting crumbs.
Sarada's starting to get there, but like, and Mitsuki too. But I think there's a lot of ground to make up. I hope that they can sort of do that. I think they're taking steps in the right direction. It's just kind of a little bit jarring to see it happen so late, especially.
Yeah.
And I get the sense that Boruto tries to sort of, even though it does like have these callbacks, it tries to like treat itself as like its own series sometimes. Hi, Noxl here, editing this like over a month later, interjecting to just add a bit more clarification on what I meant here. When I say Boruto tries to treat itself like a separate series from Naruto, in spite of all of its parallels, I'm referring to decisions such as sidelining so much of the old cast and acting as if they don't exist. Obviously, I'm talking about characters such as, but not limited to, Sakura or Kakashi, for example, who, for all intents and purposes, I think should, in universe, be more involved given the circumstances. Now, there's still a chance for that to happen, but we're pretty deep into the Boruto manga, and it hasn't really happened yet, so you do have the situation where it feels like the already existing world that has been built up throughout Naruto just doesn't exist. Yet a lot of the new cast outside of Boruto and Kawaki haven't really gotten much development yet either. Of course, that has begun to change recently, but that's sort of what I meant. Anyways, back to old me. But like one of the big things in Naruto, like by the end, was like getting the villages to like sort of cooperate, and we just like don't really see any of that. We haven't seen any of that really, outside of like one panel of the fucking Kage the 5 Kage in a Zoom call.
Yeah,
in like
I remember that.
Boruto. Yeah, so it is nice to see that now. Is it a little bit too late for them to be doing this? Maybe. But I hope they can salvage that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? Especially with Sarada. We're gonna talk about this in a little bit, but making her a lot more relevant, I hope,
Yeah.
like just kind of like makes up for it.
Yeah.
I think slowly all the other characters are being a bit more relevant, but we'll just see.